Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm so excited to see you here today. I have already seen you started to pop in the chat, and I'm super excited. Today, we're going to be looking at Papertrey's new release. Brand new today. Lots of fun products. You are going to love it. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to create 2 cards with that release, and we're going to make them pop-up cards. So we're going to make them interactive in a couple ways. One of them has a gift card holder that you can use as a tag later. The other one, and both of them have a pop-up. So I've been playing, Rachel actually requested that I do a video on pop-ups. And so here, we'll just see how she does. So this has a gift card holder in it, and then look at this. How cute is that? So we're going to create a nice pop-up in these cards, and it's going to be super fun. We'll create that one that has the interactive gift card holder. Then we're going to create another one, and we will either ink blend. This one is actually watercolored. If y'all want to see the watercolor process, we'll go through that. But this one also has a pop-up. I thought, let's go with a beautiful card, and then let's make it pop up. So we are going to have lots of fun with the pop-ups. They're a lot easier than you would think, and it's going to be lots of fun. So I've got some tips and tricks on that. I played with that a lot, and let's say thank you to Rachel for coming up with this idea. She was like, you got to do some pop-up cards. And when I started looking and thinking, you know, I really do need to do some pop-up cards. I've only done one other one like this, and these are really fun and easy to do. You can make them with your scraps. So great. So great to see Joy and Jennifer and Mary. And I'm going to, since I've been live a lot frequently, I am going to do our replay giveaway from last week in just a minute. So stay tuned as we get more people in the chat. I'll tell you who that replay winner is, and maybe it'll be one of you. I hope she's here. It'd be awesome. So during this live stream, we will have live giveaways. We'll have a live $50 gift card, and we'll have a replay $50 gift card. So stay tuned. We'll have both of those there. So y'all just grab your favorite drink and let's get cozy and chat a little bit. I'm going to put my overhead camera on so you can look at these cards a little closer. We'll look at the release, and we will have lots of fun. Okay, so let me show you here what we're going to make. I'm going to try to show you something on this because this has I don't know if you can tell that we've got sparkle on this card too. I went all out on this card, and we're going to do lots of fun techniques with it. So this is a gift card holder, and yes, it has a real gift card in here. I put a Target gift card. Maybe I should make that part of the giveaway. I could send that gift card to somebody. But anyway, here is the front of the card. But what's really fun and exciting is doing the inside of the card. Look at this. Boom. How cute is that? So I've got lots of tips and tricks. I've done several of these and had lots of fun with it. Here's our other card, which I did with watercolor. I'll show you how to do it ink blending, and we'll play with this beautiful card as well. It's just a quick happy birthday, but it has that adorable pop-up in the middle. Who doesn't want a happy birthday, you're the best? I think that's a perfect sentiment. So if you haven't been here, if you haven't seen the last few videos, make sure you tune in. Let's look at some of this release, and then we will get started, because this was a really good release from Papertrey. This one we're not using today, but this is called the Quilted Wedding Ring Die. And look, I have got so many ideas for this. It has a stencil. You can paper piece. Super fun little one. This one we'll be using today. This is called In Stitches Tucked In Tags. I'm gonna have to hold it this way. So it comes with a tag, and then you've got all these different options that you can put on here to hold a gift card or money or something right in time for getting ready for the holidays. It's also great for birthdays, just thank you cards, anything you can think of. I love doing something like this with like gifts for Christmas and my mailman, everybody. A few of the things that we're not going to use today are these meadow view dies, cute little trees. We've got some fun, they make the best shapes. Oh, so much fun. Yeah. Oh, good. Leah says she loves the sunflower. It is so pretty, and it really did turn out great. There's some Build-A-Flowers in this. There's some press plates and foil plates. We're going to use this one today. This is Reflections Matthew 6, and we're going to use this in a couple of ways. So we'll be setting that one aside to use. We're also going to use the new sentiments called This is big U die. And so it's got lots of different fun things that you can put with you, like thank you, you can do love you, you can do you are the best, which we're gonna do a couple times today, super fun. I see lots of you popping in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you're popping in. We're not gonna use Matthew 6 this time, but we will use it soon. And then these are those framed flowers, and I put both of them in there. There's two different flowers. So there's one like this, and then there's that sunflower. We'll definitely be using this. And I like these sentiments down at the bottom. It looks like hand cursive there, which is really nice. We'll be using possibly a couple stencils. Let's see if we got anything else. This is a big release. Oh, we can't forget the hearts. This is probably what stuck out to me. This and the tags, I opened up my package and I was like, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna play with these hearts and these tags. It's gonna be amazing. So these are great sets. They're large die sets and they're gonna be fun. So we're gonna play with that today. We will use this some other time. It's called In the Blooms Freshly Picked, but lots of just fun things to pick with if you're shopping at Papertrey today. So I'm gonna kind of put these together. We'll pull out this. You are going to love it. This is a cover plate. This is not new. This is the handmade quilt, and it is an older one, but I'm going to show you a few fun ways to use it. I got inspired from our Christmas in July live stream with Melissa to use my cover plates more, and I'm going to play with that one a lot today. So we're going to start with our heart card, and it's got that beautiful tag. Sometimes my camera loves to do that, where it likes to just say hi. So hi. Okay, so let me show you what we've been up to in the last couple live streams and tell you about the replay winner. So for this live stream, which was about a week ago, I'm going to go ahead and announce the replay winner on this one. So let's see if she's here. I don't think I've seen her pop in yet, but if you know her, let her know. She's got 7 days to claim her $50 gift card, and her name is Jenny Lynn Handcrafted. Here's what it looks like. Jenny Lynn Handcrafted. You are the winner of the replay giveaway from last week. So you need to contact us and let us know. So this is exactly 1 week ago, we did these interactive ticket cards. So make sure you don't miss that if you're catching up on replays. Super fun. We had lots of fun with this, and we used our scraps on this card. Then on Saturday, we did the Christmas in July. And we've had lots of good comments on the Christmas in July. People really loved it. Both Melissa, Julie, and I did cards. Here is what I made. So if you're interested in this, you need to make sure that you check it out. That is on replay as well. So make sure you check that out. This one has 3 replay giveaways still going on. If you go and answer the replay question, you're entered for one of the 3 $50 gift cards. So big, big prizes. Make sure you check out that video. That's on my channel. All of those are on my channel. Okay? Is Jenny Lynn Handcrafted? Is she here? Did y'all see if she was here? She was that replay winner. We're going to start on this card. So we're going to start with some pattern paper. We're going to play with these beautiful tag collection. I want to show you a couple things on the tags. These have the ability to be stitched, or you can leave them the way they are. They fit a gift card perfectly. So you see that this is a standard size gift card, and it fits in this pouch. So fits really nice, and it's a perfect little thing to have for birthdays, whatever you want to do. All right, let me get y'all started on some questions, and I am going to show you which ones of these I used. I did go ahead and put together this tag because it required stitching, and I knew today we might have a limited time with having a watercolor card because sometimes that will take a little while. So I'm going to show you how this goes together, but I've already stitched it and put it together, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on that. So I used this color cardstock. This is the craft cardstock, beautiful cardstock, okay? Highly, highly recommend. Looks gorgeous with white heat embossing. And I cut out these 2 pieces. So let's cut out these pieces. I'm going to show you how they go together. Actually, I have one cut. So I'm just going to cut both of these out, show you my little tip on that. And we'll go from there. Can they both fit? Yep, they both fit. All right, so tell me, are you a regular user, like I feel like there's people who use craft cardstock all the time, and I feel like there's people who just randomly forget about it and they remember, and it's just gorgeous. So are you like a regular craft cardstock user, yes or no? I would call myself a no, but I love it. When I bring it out, I'm like, why am I not using that again? Oh my goodness. So I'll show you how, a couple quick tips on this one. I'm going to use the one with a scallop border just because I thought that was super cute. And then we'll cut out the tag. And I'll show you a couple things on this, and then we're going to get into making that card. So here it is. I wanted to make sure that we kept a lot of our, make sure we got to our good pop-ups and all that fun stuff today. So I'm doing this. Yeah, I see a lot of people forget. Y'all forget about craft cardstock, don't you? I forget about it all the time. All the time. I don't know why. I guess I'm just looking for colors, and I just forget that craft cardstock looks great with so many colors. It's a great neutral, and it really, if you've got bright, big, bold colors, or you got lots of like pattern paper, it just really tones it down a little bit, and I love that. So we've got our front here. You've got your little stitched holes if you want to stitch, which we are going to do a little bit of. And get this one out. And then we will move these out of the way. So some people are like really love craft paper. Here's our tip if you've missed the other live streams. To get these little dots off of your mat, it's nice to do this. And then I usually take the die, and if I don't want to punch all those holes out, I'm going to roll that die too. So this is my little lint roller thing, which if you've been at the past couple, you know what it is. But you can roll and punch all of these little things out so much faster if you roll them. And yeah, I am going to, but it's just like a tap. So much better than having to stick a tool through it, especially on a live, because on a live, you're standing up, you're a little bit further away from your tools, so sometimes it can be a problem. So you can get all the little dots out with your lint roller, okay? And so do that for both parts. When you do that, I'm going to show you how this gift card goes in here so you can decide how you would want to put yours together. So the name of this die is, what is the name of it? Tucked in tags. Tucked in tags. So it's like this. Now you could tape it if you wanted to, but let's show you the size of a gift card. So here's a standard gift card. And do you see how it fits here? Fits perfectly on this tag. But I would recommend stitching it, because if you were gonna tape this part to make a pocket, you could tape it over here and you probably wouldn't see a clear tape under there, but it'd be hard to get it close enough to this that it doesn't stick to this. So I decided I would actually stitch mine together so that there's nothing sticky holding my gift card back. So you can do it with adhesive. It has enough room to do that, but I decided that I wouldn't use any adhesive in there and I would just stitch it. So let me put that back over here so I don't lose my Chick-fil-A gift card. So here's what I did. Let's show you real quick. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. So I went on and stitched this because stitching does take a while, and I wanted to get to our other parts of our card. I used this thread. It is really nicely coordinated with what we're going to use for our background paper. It's 3812. And here's the background paper that we're going to use. Look how good of a match that is. So we're going to use this pattern paper from Papertrey, and this looks perfect. So I decided I would stitch that just to give it a little bit of color. I want you to, I'm going to point a couple things out to do when you're stitching these just to make it a little bit easier, or what I did so that you know. Get my little pointer here. Get my little needle. So here is how I stitched. I went all along the edges, but do you see where this opens up? I left this one and this one off. So I didn't stitch this and this, and that's just to give me a little bit more movement in this packet. Let me show you with a gift card. So it just gave me a little bit easier time getting it in and out, and I didn't want my recipient to tear it up so they could use this again if they wanted to. So I left that little stitch just to give me a little bit more movement. stitched all the way around except for this spot right here, just to give us a little bit more of a pocket. And I like to tape down my extra, so I'm going to do that really quick. And then we will do some stamping on it. Let me put my needle back. So you can't just leave it plain, you know? So I use a double-sided adhesive, and then I attach my strings to the back and trim them. And that way I don't have to worry that I needed to tie a knot or anything like that. I can just cover those up. So that's how I do the back of the stitching. All right, so we need to stamp on this, and we're going to add some little embellishments. So let's get that going. Let's look at the back of our card, and we'll go from there. So we're going to cut some beautiful little hearts out. They're so adorable, and we're going to make some fun stuff with it. So let's go. I'm going to use this paper, which is, I think it's called mulberry paper. I just had a red like this. And we're going to make a little heart, and then we're going to stamp on it. So let me put up my tag dies and see what y'all are up to. So who is, what are y'all drinking today while you're crafting? I am drinking sweet tea. It might make me a little bit hyper. Y'all feel free to tell me to slow down. If so, I might have a sugar rush. So if you haven't done stitching on your cards, I did that in the live stream on the Christmas in July. And here's why I'm not doing it today. So when people are commenting on a live, sometimes people want it to go faster. Some people don't care at all. But when they want it to go faster, they complain about the stitching. So I decided that today, last time we stitched, this time I figured I'd have it pre-done so that the people who don't want it to take quite as long don't have to worry. Plus we've got a lot of cards to do, so I want them to get through this one. So we're going to use those beautiful heart dies. And we're going to cut out this. So see how this paper is see-through? I'm actually going to add it to a piece of white, and it can be just a scrap piece, whatever you want. But I'm going to add it to a piece of white just to make sure that you can see how beautiful that red is. Plus it's a little bit flimsy. So if you're die cutting it, probably a good idea to add it to something. Ooh, I've never heard of that, Brenda. Diet Tropical 7-Up? That's cool. Okay, so I'm going to cut a little piece of this. We are going to do, I'm going to get my Chick-fil-A gift card out of here. Let's look at what we need to cut out here. We're going to use 3 hearts, not total, but just, yeah, 3. And do you see how the hearts have a certain shape? So see how there's some really long skinny hearts, this one, and this one? I'm going to keep my hearts more like this, just because I prefer that type, but also for our pop-up, this works well because you have a little bit more on each side to fold. And so I decided that the thicker heart worked a little bit better for that. So I'm going to get my 3 hearts off here that we're going to use, put these other ones back so I don't lose them. And we'll get a little bit of glue. So we're going to cut our little bitty heart out of this. So I only need a little small piece here. So I'm going to cut both of these out, and we'll glue this together and let it dry. And you could use double-sided adhesive if you want to, but I'm just going to use some glue, and I'm just going to do light glue, kind of rub it in and attach this piece. So if you need to have less glue, or you're worried that you got it too globby, you can always go in and use one of these. Y'all seen these little silicone things? So I can dot it around and make sure it's not globby anywhere, and that helps it dry faster. So I'm going to just attach this place, and we're going to let it dry for a second, and then we're going to cut that small heart out of it. So our big inside piece is going to be this big heart right here. So I want to cut my big heart out of like a pattern paper. And the reason that I want to cut it out of a pattern paper is because The pattern paper is a lower weight. So when you're doing that pop-up, if you can do something that's a little bit lighter weight, it's gonna work better. So let me show you what we're gonna use here for our double-sided, if I can locate it. Yeah. Okay, so let's look through our paper. We're gonna use this one as the background, just so you know what we're looking at. And then I have this pack. I'm gonna use this for the large inside one and one of the small ones. And then we're just gonna use straight pure poppy, which is the beautiful red from Papertrey. It's just a beautiful red cardstock. So we're gonna cut some hearts from these. So Jennifer says, you glue it before you cut it. Yes, my glue dries very quickly and it doesn't cause me any trouble. With the, I'm gonna let it dry for a little while. We're not gonna cut it just yet. We're gonna let it dry for a little bit before we cut that one. We're gonna get these pieces done and start looking at stamping. Because we need to stamp our pop-up piece and we need to stamp our gift card holder. So one large heart and one small heart from this beautiful cardstock here. And this large heart's gonna be our pop-up. So make sure you've got a good cut of that large heart. Make sure it's even. And if you want to line your lines up on it, you can. I'm not gonna worry too much that those are straight, but send this through to cut it. Actually need to move it over just a little bit because I don't want to have to cut that piece of cardstock. There we go. So if y'all are thinking about these hearts, I know hearts make you think of Valentine's. Do you use hearts on different types of cards? I'm gonna tell you some ideas I have for hearts and y'all tell me what you've got because I love hearing new ideas and ways to use these dies. Okay, so we're gonna get these two out of here. We're gonna cut a small one out of our, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's gonna be fun. So that's gonna pop up in the middle of our card. It's gonna look awesome. Let's go ahead and cut a small poppy colored one. And I'm gonna see if I've got another pattern paper to cut too. So we'll do that one. And I think I've got some polka dotted paper. Let me get some polka dotted paper. There it is. So this is also a beautiful color. This matches. So this is in the same pack. It's called Bitty Pure Poppy, I believe. Yeah, butterfly wings work really well for these pop-ups. It really needs to be a symmetrical thing. Nice if it has a bend in the middle. So hearts, butterflies, a symmetrical die that folds in half well. Those are all things that I found were the easiest to do with our pop-up. So let's cut these couple out. And then we're gonna do a little bit of stamping to get our center ready. I love white heat embossing on craft paper. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. So here's our, whoops, I guess I missed getting that one out. Here's our pure poppy one. Beautiful. And then we got one more that's got polka dots. Hi, Arlene. Yeah, I see she's saying hi to Arlene, sorry. Oh, did you hear that? She said the gingerbread man has come back in stock. People were talking about that this weekend, that it went out of stock while we were doing our live stream. And now it is back. So if you've been waiting for that, I actually talked to somebody today who's waiting for that. So we got these little hearts. I'm going to put my hearts up for right now. And we need to do our stamping on our center and on our gift card holder so that when it pops up, it's got a message. We're going to use this stamp set. This is called This Is Big Sentiments U die. And I'm going to use this tall U And I'm going to use the words "are the best." That's going to be "you are the best." And then right here, we're going to be using a heart on the cover. And I'm going to use the heart and just put the word "you," like "love you" or "heart you," whatever. Okay, so here's our stamp set. And we're going to do some white heat embossing. So I'm going to use the opaque bright white Wow. But let me show you a couple tips on this. We will line both of these up. We'll have to stamp them individually because I've only got one U stamp. So I was telling y'all today too that today's live stream is due to Rachel saying, hey, we need to do some pop-up cards. So tell me, do you have ideas of what you want to see in a live stream? Tell me what kind of things you want to make sure you see. And I do listen to requests and to people who want certain things. So this one is kind of dedicated to Rachel because she had this idea. So thank you, Rachel, for coming up with pop-up cards and telling us to do those. I'm going to use just a little bit of tape since this is kind of a thicker thing here. And the reason I have this heart here is to help me with spacing. So I'm going to use, actually before I tape it down, sorry, would help if I added some anti-static powder to it. Hang on. Sometimes I forget my... Yay, yeah, we're working on gift card holder and this pop-up card. So I'm gonna add some powder here. You could do this before you stitch if you want, but I just do it afterwards because it's kind of my process. And we're gonna stamp and heat emboss this really quick. The other nice thing about heat embossing on one of these is that heat embossing lasts a long time. Like sometimes your stamp ink will fade, but the heat embossing usually stays. So if you were hoping that this would become a present for somebody else, like they could take this tag off and use it again, then heat embossing might be a good idea just to protect your card. So you see how this is gonna go? Make sure my heart fits. And I got the word "you." We're gonna stamp that in clear and then add heat embossing. And this is for our tag that's gonna be on the front of the card. And you could stamp a whole, whatever you want to do. I just thought the little heart saying "love you" would be so cute. So I'm going to use my Versamark. Ooh, helps if I don't drop it, right? I always forget the anti-static powder too. Yeah, okay, so I see lots of fun fold cards. Is there a specific fun fold you've been wanting to learn how to do? Is there anyone that's like challenging that we need to try? Not that I'm definitely gonna. Look how beautiful that looks. I'm gonna do it one more time just to be on the safe side, but that looks great. You can definitely tell that's stamped. And stamped perfectly. I love this font. Looks so good, Julie. I think Julie's out there. Does anybody have questions about the new release? Anything that you're interested in seeing more videos on? Love to hear that. So we got this. I'm gonna set this to the side really quick and we will do our white heat embossing. And I know I'm doing it over the stitching, so I'll have to make sure I got it all off. Let's see how that goes. I think the first time I might have done it before stitching. So we'll just have to make sure we get it off our stitching. So I'm going to put my stuff there. Yep, that all came off. See how it's all off there? Awesome. I think that needs just a smidge more. Okay. So I'm just flicking this a lot to make sure I don't have it stuck in my stitching, which really, that didn't stick anywhere. The anti-static powder is the stuff. That's amazing. Yeah, I am always looking for new ways to use my pattern papers, and that's why I kind of thought this pop-up would be really fun, but I was playing with it with pattern paper, and then I realized pattern paper actually works better for it. Works better than just plain cardstock, plus it's kind of exciting and cute. So let me turn on my heat thing. Oh, so Darlene says a card spinner. I have card spinners, and I'm going to be doing those soon. I'm planning on doing a whole live stream on card spinners. So stay tuned on that one. Oh, good. So Rachel says she just got her Papertrey gingerbread. I'm glad they got that back in stock. So, hang on. So Arlene says, do you ever do stamp surgery to make your sentiment fit a different card? And yes, I do. So what she means by that is with stamps, you can cut them down and create parts of sentiments and kind of jumble it together. Think of like a ransom note. You can do that with your stamps too. You can cut them apart and then you can put them back together the way they were if you want, but you can use that. So there is our beautiful heat embossing. Make sure that's good. And then I'm going to use a microfiber towel to wipe off that extra. Look at how beautiful. Oh, look at how beautiful, except it's just me. Okay, here we go. So look at how gorgeous that looks. Now let's do our pop-up scene too, because we need to do it with the same words. So let's make this. Now with the pop-up, you need to be extra careful that you center your words. And the word you is the easiest to center. So don't worry. So we're gonna heat emboss this as well, just partly for that. It's gonna be folded in the middle, and if you do regular ink, it might like kind of get on each other. So I decided to heat emboss this. So, and it worked great. Let me clean off this stamp. I got myself, actually I was given a new stamp chamois, working pretty well so far. This one was from scrapbook.com, and it really has been working nicely. Of course, I've already stained it like crazy, but it worked well. My Gina K one, I'd had it for like a year and a half, and it started to kind of fall apart. So, wiping that off. Now we're gonna go ahead and not forget our powder here. When y'all are thinking about doing like a gift card for someone, what do you tend to do those? Do you do those only at Christmas? Do you do them for birthdays? Like if you needed a gift card holder, what would you use it? Because I thought it'd be kind of cool for like the thank you presents to like the postman and just anybody who would be so excited. I think it'd even be kind of cute if you did it for like a waitress that wasn't expecting it, like maybe at the holidays. I think that would be very cute. Okay, so we're gonna have to line this up exactly in the middle because we're gonna fold it exactly in the middle. And the nice thing about this stitched heart is it has a middle dot and a middle dot, and it's just, I'm using my little mat too, but it's really easy to line up the middle, which makes it nice and easy to use. So I'm going to try not to rub off my powder, but use this to kind of hold it down. See, yeah, it wants to curl up a little bit. It is a thinner paper, so I'm going to use a piece of tape to hold it down. A piece of tape, just to make sure. And then on this one, I'm going to do you are the best. And so since you is 3 letters, it's pretty easy to line up the middle of you. Just right down the middle of the O. Okay, and then we're going to do are the best, which is from the same stamp set. Because who doesn't want to hear that they're the best, right? So Joyce asked if I keep my stamp chamois wet. No, I do not keep it wet. I keep it in a little, let me show you. So when I keep my stamp chamois, sorry, let's get it out of here. I keep it in this little thing that has holes in it, but these, I wet them before I'm gonna use them, but I put them like this and just let them kind of stand. I mean, they kind of make like a fun shape, but I wet them before I need them. So I just use my little sprayer, or I take them to the sink and wet them. But right now I just leave them in that. So they are open to the air. They're not in a sealed thing. Do y'all keep them in something sealed? Okay, so tell me what you do with your stamp chamois, or do you have a stamp chamois? So yes, we will definitely have a replay. I like that Tina says she usually does those gift card holders at Christmas. When else do y'all do those? Do you ever do them like a thank you, or just, I can see sending this one to my kiddo at college and just being like, uh-oh, didn't mean to knock that off. And just saying, you know, it says love you, and like putting like a little Chick-fil-A gift card in there or something, just so they've got a little fun surprise in the mail. I think that would be kind of cute. I'm all into figuring out what I can do as college care packages these days. Okay. I'm going to stamp that twice just to make sure I get enough ink down. Yeah, thank you, just because, yep. Okay, Arlene does not have a stamp shaving. Arlene, what do you use to clean your stamps off? Okay, I know that's a little harder to see, but you'll see it when the white shows up. So we're going to add that white heat embossing to it. And with patterned paper, it's thinner, so you're going to see me moving my heat gun a lot to try to make sure that I don't warp this too much, but also we are about to fold it, so it's fine. So don't worry too much. So here is our embossing powder, our super bright white. And then we're going to let this, kind of cool off. I'm not going to immediately bend it and make the pop up. I'm going to give it a little time to cool so that we're sure that all this heat embossing is nice and it's not hot so that it sticks together, because this is going to have to fold in half. So let's heat emboss this one. Yeah, that's a good idea, Tracy. And Carmen, I see she's got a college-aged kid too. So you see what I mean? This to me would be really cute for a college age. It doesn't even have to be Valentine's, just for your kid. Just, I love you and you're the best. How cute would that be? Oh goodness. I'm sure my kiddo, who's a boy, would probably not appreciate it that much, but he would at least smile. He'd probably roll his eyes. Ah, Mom made me another card. Okay, so do I use white pigment ink, especially for sentiments, is the question. That's from Rachel. No, I do not. I do not use white pigment ink unless I'm using it like on a some type of plan for like an embossing folder, like I'm using the white ink for a reason, because to me, white heat embossing is brighter and it just is easier for me. It doesn't take long to dry. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this is hot because I don't want to burn this paper up. You can burn pattern paper easier, so just keep going, keep moving, constant movement, constant movement. It is gonna fold a little bit, but remember, we're gonna fold it in half, so. There it goes. Too hot on your fingers, you can always move it away. Okay. See if I got it. Made that part of the Y. Okay. Looks like I got it. Thank you, Linda. That's good to know. Boys do. She said boys may not say they appreciate it, but they do. I know. My theory is just going to be like, just going to keep on doing it no matter how many eye rolls I get. It'll just be, maybe one day he'll be like, oh yeah, that was great, Mom. I'm looking for where I put my microfiber cloth. Did y'all see where I set that down? Oh, back here. There it is. So I use those stamp chamois because they don't have lint, and with this, usually it's fine and it gets most things off, but do you see how I grab things like mulch and hair and just stuff gets stuck to it? So I have trouble getting it to be perfectly clean to clean my stamps, but I'm also might just be a general mess. So now we've got our U, and we have this one. Look at how cute these look. Oh goodness. So I'm going to let this cool off just a little bit. Let's work on our background. We're going to be doing this. We're going to add some hearts too, and I'm going to show you what I did with these hearts because it's hard to see on the card, but it looks amazing in person. Do you see the shimmer on those hearts? I kind of made my own glittery shimmer. Can you see it down here? And I want to show you what I used to do that. We'll do that real quick. We're even going to do a few dots on this as well. So we're going to do these three, and we're going to do a little bit on the background. And I got brave, and I decided to use the Distress Spritz in Lumberjack Plaid. This is what color it is. I'm going to have to shake it up. Yeah, Arlene, I know how that goes. Oh, Linda says it takes about 15 years for those boys to say something. So I got like another 15 years, I'm sure, for them to stop rolling their eyes, but that's okay. So tell me what y'all are working on right now. Are y'all working on Christmas cards? Are you working on birthday, other occasions? Anybody getting ready for Halloween? Tell me what you're working on right now in your craft room. What's on your craft desk? What type of occasion? So see how beautiful that is? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way. And we are going to use a box. So you'll see me make a mess here, but I'm gonna use this box to help me because this stuff, I spilt it and it looks like sparkly blood all over your craft room. So we're gonna do this. And I'm actually going to carefully use it with an acrylic block. We're gonna do what Melissa does, which is use her paintbrush. So I'm gonna use a paintbrush to splatter, but I've got to get that nice color out there. Get my good splatter brush. This is like what I'd call my blankie of splatter brushes. I don't even know what it is, but it's just one of those that I've always loved. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to add a little bit of this to my acrylic block and we're gonna splatter it. Oh, Christmas ornaments for new babies. You got new grandbabies? So I'm gonna just kind of do this. You can even spray it on the little block if you want to. Oh, that's cute. Build-A-Bear. I like that Build-A-Bear. You can spray it on your block. I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush with my sprayer. So just adding a little bit of water. And then I'm going to splatter. Okay, so we're going to get all this beautiful color and we're going to splatter. We're going to do a little bit everywhere. We're just going to kind of bring our colors together. And then you can spray these hearts or you can splatter them. I'm going to splatter them. And it looks awesome. It dries really nice. So you could just go on and spray them if you wanted to, but I liked how the splatter looked. And I liked adding that splatter to the background too. Okay. So we got our beautiful, let me try to hold them up closer to you. I can't see my camera to see if you can tell that splattery. Look at all that. Oh man. Okay, so those need to dry for a second. Let me rinse off my brush and rinse off my acrylic block. So I spilled this container and it was everywhere. It's probably still on my rug. And then I'm just gonna clean my brush like this for right now, for live stream purposes. I'm just gonna spray it off and wipe it down because we're gonna use it for splatter later. Okay, so don't be afraid of the lumberjack plaid. It's red, it looks nice with all those Christmassy cards. I think it's gonna be awesome. And I did red on red and then red on the teal as well, just to bring it all together. I was feeling a little bit of Melissa vibes after our Christmas live stream, so I'm trying out some of her stuff. She'll like to hear that if she's out there. I don't know if she's out there right now. She's probably making her own video. Okay, so we got that done. Now, let's take this and let's look at what we're gonna do to create the fold. So this is where your scraps come in. Find some scraps. And this is not my normal scoreboard, okay? This is one when I need to use a quick cutter that's got inches on it that I use. This is called the Works by We Are Memory Keeper. And it's got a little thing that I can cut, but it also has a little scoreboard. Not like my favorite scoreboards of all, but it's really nice because I'm gonna cut some scraps and we're gonna use those behind this card. So let me grab a scrap of pattern paper, which I think I left myself in here. Okay, we'll see if this is enough to do it. So I'm going to cut myself a long strip of this so that we can make our pop-up mechanism. So what I would say about what you're going to do as the size of this, to me, this size heart needed about 3/4 of an inch width. So let's see if we got enough of that. We're close. We may not have enough. We'll do this one on the smaller one then. Let's grab a different scrap. If you want to coordinate, we can do this. Let's just do this one. I know this is not necessarily my scrap, but so about a 3/4 of an inch cut so that you've got a strip. And once again, like I said, this is not my favorite trimmer. Sometimes I have to go back. So about that size. Then we're going to make this is going to be our pop-up mechanism. So I'm going to show you where I'm going to score to create the pop-up mechanism. And we'll need 2 of these, but I think I can get them both from this same set. So now I've cut this at 3/4 of an inch. That's how wide it is. And I just did a random piece. It doesn't matter how long it is. You're going to have plenty. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything on the chat. Hey, Deborah. Spritz is an awesome product. I see somebody. Yeah, it would definitely be a good money holder. Okay, so we've got our strip that we're going to use as the pop-up. I've cut this to 3/4 and we're going to score to 3/4. And you just want to make sure, like, will it fit? So 3/4, let's see how big that is. Is that definitely going to fit behind my side? Yes. So I'm going to go 3/4 and we'll score it every 3/4, okay? So let's see if I can do this in time here. 1 1/2. Another, that'd be 2 2/4. 2 1/4, sorry. 2.4. 1.4. Why can I not say that? 2.25. Okay, so we got 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 3, and 3.75. Okay? So we need 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece and show you the mechanism that I made. So I'm going to cut it. And we'll make the first one, then we'll go back and score this one. Let's see if this one's long enough. I think it's going to be perfect. Yeah, that's definitely. Let's go ahead and score it just so we're there. So 3/4, 1 1/2. They're making me do math here at the 2 1/4. 3 and 3.75. Okay, so we got 2 pieces scored. We need 5 sections, okay? So start bending your sections and making really good things. Yeah. I love the finishing spray of the Distress Spritz. And they're really inexpensive too. That's fine, Tracy. Catch the rest. She said her littles are getting up. Kim's cracking me up. All right, so here is what we're making. We're making a little box, okay? So you need 5 sections so that you can overlap and glue this and make a box. So this is 3/4 of an inch wide, and each of these sections is 3/4 of an inch. Thank you on my nails. So tell me, do y'all save paper scraps? If you save paper scraps, this is a great way to use them. Make your little interactive sets. So I'm going to glue these 2 together to make a box. So we're going to do that one. Now we got to do our second one. Now I only need 5 sections, and I think I have 1 extra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can cut this little edge off. And you don't want to go too many because you don't want it to be so thick that the card doesn't close. So I highly recommend using a pattern paper or very lightweight paper to do this. It needs to not tear up, but at the same time, it needs to be thin enough that when you close the card, it's not going to be too thick and cumbersome. So I'm going to pleat all of these pieces. Yeah, good. I'm glad you saved your scraps too. It's always the debate on scraps. I agree. I save them, but you know how it is. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. I think that if you've got the room to save them, save them. Okay, so I'm going to glue that one together. So we have 2 boxes here. I'm going to let those stay, and it never hurts to hold that glue down. So this is a great way, like what if you have that paper that you just don't like the way it looks? This is not going to be seen, but we're going to use it to build something. So we need to make sure that fits. Here, let's look. So see how it fits behind my thing so I can't see it from the sides. You need to make sure when you're making these that they fit. So you don't want to make them like this big and then they're sticking out behind your pop-up element, okay? So while we're waiting on those to dry, let's go ahead and score this and get it ready. And I'm scoring straight down the middle. So you got to make sure your embossing is dry. The nice thing about this heart is that it's exactly 3 inches. Do you see that on the scoreboard? Exactly 3 inches. So you know exactly where your middle score line is. Your middle score line should be right at 1.5. And I'm not going to go so hard to tear the paper, but I need a good indentation here. Okay. And then we will carefully fold it and smush it down. So we're folding it in half, okay? That way when the card opens up, it opens like this. Yeah, there's always a replay, don't worry. Okay, so you got your 2 pieces here and you got your folded up piece. Let's go ahead and, sorry, I'm gonna have to send my husband a message. We're gonna glue these 2 together. So let's go ahead and glue our 2 boxes together. So we need to glue this, and you wanna kind of make sure they're even, okay? So we got our 2 boxes glued together. See how that works? Let's let that dry for just a second. And you're gonna need a card that folds this way. I mean, you could do it this way potentially, but it looks cooler like this. So get your card base ready. This one I can see I need to do just a little bit of trimming on it, so I'll do that while this glue dries. I'm gonna trim it just a little bit because I got one uneven edge that drives me crazy. So here we go. I'm just gonna cut that edge off just a little bit. So tell me, who would you give this heart card to? And I'm gonna tell you some of my other ideas for heart cards. I think that this would be amazing as a baby card. What do y'all think about that? I think that it could look really cool. I almost did one and I ran out of time. Sorry, my husband had to hand me something. Okay. All right, I'm gonna trim off this edge too because I just didn't. There we go. Okay, so that's even. Now we'll show you how this fits together. So you've got your card base. This is an A2 card base and it's gonna open to the side. Most of the time when I'm doing cards, I try to open them from the top, but with these pop-ups, it's gonna work better to open from the side because it's just gonna be more beautiful. All right, now, before we put it inside the card, we need to attach it here. So I want you to fold this like this. Flatten it down, make sure you got a good fold because you want this to be really, really nice inside the card. And then, see how it makes a heart too, kinda? We're gonna put our heart in the middle of this heart. Give it to your mom, that's a good idea. So we're gonna add some glue to the insides of this. Right here. And then we're gonna attach it. Okay, so hold it tight. That would be a good I bet the granddaughter would love this pop-up. That's awesome. Nieces, granddaughters, oh yeah. And according to me and Linda, our boys would like it too. They just won't tell us for like 15 years. Okay. All right. So now I think I've given that long enough. So now here's what it looks like. You see how this is going to open up? So we need to glue it in the card too. So we're going to line our card up and we're going to put glue on this one and this one. So you don't want to glue the edges of the the heart down, you want to glue this back end right here. So we're going to glue it approximately the middle and close the card. And this needs to have some pressure. I'm gonna, see how we got it in there? I'm gonna add some pressure. I'm gonna send an acrylic block on it and give that a minute before we open it back up and look at its mechanism. So I know it's just a second, but we need to hold a little bit of pressure on that. Okay. And I think we're ready to cut this heart out while we wait on that to dry. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, thanks, Monica. You noticed my cute nails? Okay, this one we were going to cut a little heart out of, so let's cut this heart so we can put it on the front. Tell me, I think I asked earlier, but I don't know how many people are here. Tell me what your favorite thing from the new release is from Papertrey. I saw somebody loves the big blooms. What else are y'all loving? So I'm going to cut this one out. This is the paper that we made. It's got that mulberry paper and I glued it on. So we're going to get this one ready. And if y'all are struggling following along, of course you can watch it on replay, but we're gonna do this pop-up mechanism twice because we're gonna do it for both cards. So stay tuned and I'll show you, and we'll adjust it for a different size too. So I'll show you how it works. So this one comes right out, the glue's already dry. I am gonna punch these little holes out of this one instead of using my lint roller, just because I don't wanna take any of this that I've glued down off. I'm just being careful with it. So glad to have you all here. So make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure if you're shopping the Papertrey new release that you use my link. Rachel's putting links in the description. One other thing to just mention, consider using my links for, that she may pop up in there is if you are going to SBC Fest, which is a free event for scrapbook.com, make sure you use my link to buy your bundle. That's out today and it'll probably sell out. So she'll pop that in there. Look at this heart. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So now we've got our heart for our heart U. Okay, so let's go ahead and get him on there while we're waiting on that other glue to dry. Oh gosh, this looks so cute. I love using all these different reds and these textures. Oh, so beautiful. So I'm just gonna add a little glue to him and put him right in the middle. All right, so let's hold that down. Now, we've got all of this on the back. No problem, you could keep it that way. But for my tag, I want it to be able that if somebody wanted to remove it and use it again, they wouldn't see this on the back. So I did cut out an extra piece to put on the back. You could also use that to write to from or write a little message on it if you wanted to. But for me, it's nice to have these two pieces here so that it covers up what I've done. And since I've already started using the double-sided adhesive, I am going to use double-sided adhesive right here as well. I'm not going to use any foam tape because we're going to make so many layers on this card and I don't think we're going to need it. So I'm going to glue these two just to kind of hide the back in case somebody wants to reuse their tag, because it's a perfectly good tag. There's no reason that you couldn't reuse that and take it off the card. And usually inside my card, I will tell them when I'm writing the note too. Oh no, I see that, Kim. Thank you, Kim, for thinking now. Yeah, y'all just make sure you use my link. All right, so here we go. Let's put this backing on so that we got this covered up, and then we'll work on we'll see if our glue is dry. If our glue is dry on our pop-up mechanism. Okay, so wouldn't hurt to add yourself a little bit of glue if you are having trouble lining this up, but I think I got it just fine. So that's just the back of my tag. And that's just so hopefully it can get reused again. So this is gonna look so cute on that background. Let's see if our background's dry. That Distress Spritz dries really fast too. Nice. So that Distress Spritz is dry. So we're going to use one of the dies from this set that I really love. Let me find it really quick. We're going to use a cover plate die, which is from an older set. This is called Handmade Quilt. I'll show you what it looks like. A cover plate die just puts an impression in, and you see how beautiful that is? We're going to use that on vellum, and we're going to have some fun with it. So hang on. Of course, it's going to be the last one over here. I love these. I love this shape. Beautiful shape for the reflections die this time. So we're going to use both of these together, and we're going to use it on vellum. So let me grab a piece of vellum. Hopefully I got my, yep, got a good sized piece right here. I'm going to cut it first, and then I'm going to do my cover plate. You could do it in either way that you want to. Hold on. So I could do the cover plate first, then I could do the cutting, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut first, and then we'll send it through again with the cover plate. So let's cut it. And Papertrey has multiple types of vellum also. I saw they have like different levels of opaqueness, which is really cool. Haven't gotten to try it yet. Cat Scrapper says she likes to add texture around the background with stitching dies. I know, it's so fun. Okay, so here's what that beautiful shape is. So gorgeous. Now I'm going to take our cover plate and I'm going to put it over it, and we're going to impress this image on it. It's going to look like a quilt. So just lining that up. I'm just setting this one down. And let me show you what that does. Just that extra little detail that looks so nice. Okay. So is there anybody out there who has never made an interactive card? Are there any newbies out there? It's okay if you're new. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Just curious if there's anybody who hasn't done it before. All right, here's what this looks like. Look at that. Ooh, it looks so good. Oh my goodness. So this cover plate is on the supply list, and it just puts this impression. You could do this in any of your dies. If you watched the Christmas in July live stream, Melissa did this with the snowflake die plate like this, and she put it in the like put the little bird through it too, so it just makes lots of extra texture. You know, she loves lots and lots of texture, so it was really, really cute. So I will have to give Melissa these ideas because I was playing with her ideas, just like anytime you see something different. So look at how good this is going to look. I got this. We need to put, I like having my thing go this way, and let's see if our little hearts are dry too. We got some hearts to arrange. Okay, we'll arrange these hearts, and then our card background should be good. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, it's doing good. I'm going to give it some more time just to be safe. Okay, so I've got these hearts here, which looks so cute. We're just going to kind of layer everything together. So I put a bow on here, and you could tie the bow. I just actually stuck my bow on top, so we'll do that as well. But I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided adhesive and put this on, and then we'll start arranging everything. So you always want to make sure that you don't have adhesive sticking up behind your vellum, or you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and attach everything on top of the vellum first, and then we'll adhere our vellum. Okay. So you can do this. You could leave it unattached and just poke a hole and tie it to the card. That's fine. Let me show you how I did it. But I did a little double-sided adhesive it up right about here. Right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to put some hearts and such underneath it. And I'm going to leave these hearts, I'm only going to glue them kind of right here because I want them to stick up a little bit to make some more texture. So tell me, on these cards, I know I showed you at the beginning, if you weren't here that's fine, but of the cards, the hearts and the sunflower, which one is like draws your eye the most, the hearts or the sunflower? Okay, go like right there with that. And then we'll tuck this one in. We're gonna put this one kind of right here. And this one I may stick on just a little bit of foam tape so it can kind of go over that. So I'm going to put one little smidge of foam tape. Sunflower, okay, good. Yeah, the vellum's always good at hiding stuff. Yeah, the sunflower, we're going to do the sunflower, so hang tight. We'll do that one in just a minute. To me, the bright reds kind of catch my eye, but I do love that watercolor sunflower. I forgot to get all my dots out of this one, so I got to get those real quick. Vellum, I love vellum too. All right, if y'all haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up underneath the video title to help more people see this on replay. Also, if you're just getting in, and you didn't see the earlier live streams this week, you definitely need to check those out. I've put a little bit of foam tape on here. We had an amazing Christmas in July event with Papertrey. It had 3 of us doing presentations, and it was, sorry, that's getting that. Actually, let's hold on this guy for just a second because I need to sit the rest of it down. Let me add just a little bit of more adhesive. Sorry, we did a Papertrey event, and it still has replay giveaways. It's got 3 $50 replay giveaways, so make sure you run and check that out. It's on my channel, and it's got Melissa, it's got me and Julie on there, and oops, look what I did. I went past that with the vellum. Make sure you can't see it on the other side. So we will make our sunflower card next. It's super fun. And we'll do some pretty easy watercoloring. I'm playing with some of my, I also love just playing with supplies I haven't used in a long time. Yeah. Okay, so y'all are big watercolor fans? Yeah. I love those big letters that form the U too. All right, I'm gonna put some adhesive on this part. And then we'll put our little foam tape heart down. Okay, and this one had its little bit of foam tape, so let's go like right here. So we got our little hearts. Look at how cute those look. So you could stick a gift card in there if you wanted. I'm gonna stick this one in, and it slides right in. And then if you want to put a bow on it, you can do that as well. We'll put a little bow and use some stuff. And if you feel like you want things not to be sticking up, you can do that, but look at how this is looking so far. We got our spritz that we did, we got our stitching, our gift card, our beautiful vellum in the background. Oh, so many details. Let's see how our pop-up is doing. I think by now the glue is dry. Yes, we're gonna do that watercolor card, Kat. So this is the other card. We'll do this one, the second part of the live stream, and it's got a pop-up as well. So we'll do that one. All right, so let's see how our pop-up's doing. I had to let the glue dry just a little bit. So here's how the mechanism works. We've gone through that. If you didn't see it, you can watch on replay, but we're also gonna do one for that sunflower card as well. So the inside of our card, boom. So you see how it's standing up there? How amazing would that be? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, how cute would this be? I love it. And you could even stitch the inside hard if you wanted to. Oh my goodness. Boom, boom. So cute. See how we've built our little pop-up mechanism? So it lays flat. Lays flat. There is ever so slightly some heft to it because it's got stuff in there. That is gorgeous. Okay, let's put our front on here. And then we'll move on to our watercolor card. All right, so I'm going to add some glue, put this front part on. So is it storming for any of you? I know we've had some crazy weather, and I saw some people saying there was thunderstorms around. Anybody got a big storm going on where they are? Okay, let me grab this little bow here. I had this little scrap piece, and I love how red it is. I don't even know what this is, but this little scrap piece, I had enough to make 2 bows. So I'm going to make a bow really quick, and then I'm going to use a glue dot and put it down. Whoop. And I just thought it was like the perfect little bow for here. So add my little bow right there, and I just think it tops off that card perfectly. So I used a little glue dot, these Zots. Yeah, so hot. I know, it's so hot. I actually, a while ago when I told you my husband came in, he had to come in to change the AC in here because it was getting so hot. I was burning up. Okay, so I've got a glue dot. I'm going to put mine just a little bit above the hole. And there it is. Let's trim our little bow there. The glue dot does a good job at holding the bow in place. So this is what I used. I don't know if I put those on the supply list, but FYI, grab those. So here it is. So you can stick money in there. You could stick a little Chick-fil-A gift card in there. You could stick whatever you want to in here, and it just fits perfectly in that little spot. And I did my bow a little higher just so it's easier to get that in and out. And then when they open it up, boom! How cute is that? Oh my goodness. This red bow, is that just like scrumptious or what? I think I got that at my local scrapbook store. Just like, I mean, that's all I have left. Ah, so sad. You are the best. Oh, it's so fun. So fun. Okay. So I love how that turned out. We're going to do a watercolor card. While I'm getting set up to do our watercolor pop-up, let's see what kind of questions y'all can do. And you know what? I'm going to give you a question, and I'll have Rachel pick the giveaway winner. So you got to answer this question. Let's see what it could be. Tell me in the chat for the live stream giveaway, tell me your favorite flower to color. It doesn't have to be your favorite flower to look at. It needs to be your favorite flower to color. Tell me that in the chat, and we will pick a winner for the live. So Rachel, I'll have you pick that winner. So I'm gonna actually I need to stamp on this before I do anything, sorry. That's true. We're gonna stamp and heat emboss, because when you heat emboss for watercolor, it gives you these little raised areas that make it much easier. I see some poinsettias. Oh, I love poinsettias. Oh, roses, yes, daisies. I think my favorite flower to look at is a peony. So that's fun to color too. Oh yeah, it's lots of good flowers flying by there. Oh, I see Arlene's got an iris. That's the state flower of Tennessee. Okay, we're gonna emboss in something a little different that I think really made this watercolor card stand out. And I think it's probably gonna shock you, but it looks really good. I thought I wanted to kind of soften up my colors a little bit. So we're gonna heat emboss a brown color. And that actually kind of helped with it, with the coloring. I think it just looks so good. So we're gonna use this color and we're gonna emboss clear over it. This is a Catherine Pooler icing on the cake. So let's get some heat embossing anti-static powder down. Winner is Leslie O'Brien, 7984. You need to send an email to Papertrey, and Papertrey, will you throw in that email that she needs to send her email to claim her gift card from you? So lots and lots of doubles of anti-static powder. Congrats, Leslie. Thanks so much for being here. All right, put that down. And then let's get out our stamps. So these stamps, it comes with two different ones. Let me show you. So there's two different flowers in here. So I think you've got some options. I just feel like sunflowers are fun for like as you're going into fall, but this flower is also gorgeous. So both of these I think come in the same set. They're called Framed in Flowers, and these are the perfect size for an A2 card. You could also cut them out. You can get dies, you can cut out the sentiments, you could do that. But I liked just using it as a framed flower on here. So I'm gonna line mine up and we will heat emboss and clear, and then we'll do some watercoloring. Ooh, hibiscus, that's a fun one. So somebody said, I'm not good at coloring. I don't consider myself good at coloring either, but I love to play with watercolor because it really, like no matter what you do, it just looks kind of amazing. So I'm gonna kind of put this up at the upper area of this A2 one so that I've got enough room to stamp happy birthday at the bottom. If ever in doubt, if something is level, you can kind of use your T ruler a bit. Looks like it. Okay, so I'm going to pick that stamp up. And since I'm stamping, I didn't do this to start with, but since I'm stamping, let's go ahead and stamp happy birthday too. We'll do happy birthday we'll do it in the same brown. How about that? You want to do it in brown or you want to do it? Nah, I'll do it in black. So I think I want happy birthday down in this lower corner so that we can put a pretty little ribbon around it. Put happy birthday right there. What would y'all call this flower? This is the other flower that's in the set. I think it's a rose. What do you think that is? Can't decide what kind of flower that is. It's a good one to color, I'll tell you that much. Now, if you hate coloring, these have stencils that you can use. So don't worry, you could use stencils if you wanted. I'm gonna do this top part in the brown, and I'm gonna do the bottom part black. So we're just doing brown ink on our sunflower. I just think it makes the coloring look extra special. And then I'm gonna do black on the bottom. And we'll stamp those a couple times. Yeah, I like the font of these sentiments as well. Okay. And I'm stamping on watercolor paper. Just FYI. Okay. And we'll do a little bit more of the black, a little bit more of the brown. Don't have to do a ton of this, and this brown ink pad is very juicy, so probably don't even need to stamp it twice, but because I'm going to heat emboss it, and it's watercolor paper, which absorbs water, I want to make sure that that ink is fresh when I start embossing, because it's a little harder to emboss watercolor paper because your ink dries faster. So let's add some clear heat embossing to it. And this heat embossing, like I said, when you're watercoloring, it gives you like a little channel, so it makes watercoloring easier. So I'm doing the clear over it. Ooh, that'd be nice. Phyllis says, What do you use for your flocking, Phyllis? Phyllis says it'd be cool to flock the middle of that. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, sometimes happy birthdays are stacked. You could cut them apart if they're a stamp, but... So I'm going to look at this really close. Y'all going to see me just checking to make sure I got all the extra. Looks like that anti-static powder did a good job. So now I can heat it up. So while we heat this up, tell me, have you started shopping this release with a paper tray? Oh, okay. Thank you, Rachel. She said that's a dahlia. It's a pretty flower. Have y'all started shopping the Papertrey Ink release? If you do, tell me what you got so far. And tell me, too, anybody new to live streams with me? I'd love to see who's new. And I'm just going to go back and forth. And we're clear heat embossing over this ink just so that it's easier to watercolor. We're actually going to use our distress spritz and do a little watercolor with it too. So I know this is just a dark brown, but there's something different about using a dark brown with this sunflower. I think because I feel like the centers of sunflowers are often like a dark brown. I just think it looks really cool. And then I use black on the happy birthday. Okay, so that is all nice and heat embossed. Let me get some of this embossing powder away. Look at that. Oh man. Thanks, that's great to have you if you're new. I saw a couple people who said they're new. I'm looking at this just to make sure that I got all the pieces heated up. Make sure everything is nice and shiny. Looks like it is. Okay, so we can start doing some watercolor. I am going to show you what I did. This does not mean you have to watercolor it this way. You can watercolor with stamps. You could just use markers and color this. Anything you want to do. Sorry, got to clean off my stamp real quick though. Okay. I am going to use, so sitting on my desk for forever. Actually, let's take a vote. Do y'all want me to watercolor it or do you want me to use the stencils and stencil it and get more to the mechanism of the other card? Tell me what, let's vote, watercolor or stencil? So watercolor or stencil, we can do either with this flower. While y'all are voting, I'm going to show you the inks that I used. We used the icing on the cake for the brown of the flower. We used the VersaFun Clear for this. Looks like watercolor is the plan. Everybody's up for that? That's good. So sometimes I just get a little bit unsure of how much y'all want to see because you get these random comments later on if somebody's wanting to hurry up a live stream. So I never am sure. I'm like, I think they're all fine, but occasionally I'll get a comment that they wanted me to hurry and do something faster. So I'm just checking with y'all to see what you think. So the happy birthday is part of the dahlia set, but that set all comes together, which is nice. Okay, lots of watercolor. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get these out of the way. I may use that ink again, and I'm gonna use a sticky mat just to hold my stuff here. Okay, thanks, Joyce. Thanks, Joyce. Okay, still have a few of you who need to hit the thumbs up. So we are going to grab some water, which got right here, just a little bit of water. And I'm gonna get just a plain brush. and we're gonna use markers. So we're gonna use, these are watercolor brush markers, and I'm gonna use multiple different brands. These have been sitting on my desk, I'm not kidding you, for probably 4 years. And I've used them maybe 3 times. So I decided I'm definitely gonna use these. And then I'm also gonna use some Zig Clean Color. And we're just gonna add water and color with markers as we do it, and we'll show you. Now, if there's any leftover ink that didn't get heated up, it's gonna spread out. You see how I get just a little bit of that brown, but that's okay. We're getting the middle wet, and then we're gonna add in more brown color. So I like to get the area wet first, and then I can take my little brown marker. This is a Karen Brush Marker Pro in Henna, and I'm just gonna kind of dot all around it. We'll just add more dots, and then we're gonna smooth it in. So just dotting, just because I think that the dots look cool too. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna use my water brush and just smooth out any areas. And then I'm gonna add some more dots because I think the dots look pretty cool. So get it to whatever color you want it to be. And I'm gonna add some more dots. So that's the thing about having markers, is you can just kind of like add dots and add little things, and it's pretty fast. Okay. If you do too much color on something, you can always go back. So now I'm just gonna take this and dot. I just thought this made this center extra interesting, because the middles of, you know, there's always all these little seeds. So I thought it gave it just kind of some cool color variation. I just did lots of dots. See? Doesn't that look cool? If you decide you don't like the dots, just add some water to it, but I liked how the dots looked. I'm gonna put a couple right there. All right, so we got the center all done. Rinse off my brush, make sure it doesn't have any brown on it. Told you it was gonna be easy. Yeah, I think the dots make it look like seeds too. I forget to use these markers all the time. Oh, Kim, thank you. It is mine. That's true. That's true. Sometimes the comments get you though, man. Woo-wee. It's like, oh, Lord. So if you get a little brown on these, don't worry. We're going to add lots of yellow. So I'm just kind of adding water to these petals, and then we're going to come back in with some yellow markers. And if they've got a little brown on them, don't worry. The brown looks fine. Kind of tones down the yellow. And then I'm just going to take the yellow and add color. It's basically like touching it with dots, and then I'll spread it out with my brush. So I'm going to add that color to everywhere that's already wet, and then just use my brush to spread it out. Basically all you gotta do. Super easy. Told you we're gonna do easy watercoloring today. And the nice thing about the embossing is that it's already got little lines, so it's a little bit hard. I mean, you can go out of the lines, but it's harder to do. So we'll start there. We're gonna add multiple colors to this because of course we got to. How cool is that? Okay, I wanna hear, so this reminds me of fall. So I wanna hear, what is your favorite season? We're gonna get some more petals wet while we do that. Just adding water to the petals. Tell me your favorite season. Got a little bit right there. Let me get mine. If ever you're just getting too much water, you can always take a little paper towel and dry it up. I got just a little extra more than I wanted to. So I'm adding my yellow, this marker. And I like the look. So see how some of that brown is faded out from our Catherine Pooler ink? That's because, like I said, it's very hard to heat emboss, whoops, on watercolor, so sometimes you'll get a little bit of that fading, but I love that the brown to me just mixes with that yellow and looks perfect. So yeah, just a little bit of water, spread these out, and we'll start adding some other colors too. Okay, let's see. I see a lot of fall. Is fall winning? I see a couple summers. And you get a little bit on your brush through here. And if you want it darker, you just keep adding more. So I'm going to add some water to more petals. Okay. And then we'll add some more yellow. I think I forgot to do yellow up here. And you don't have to worry about being too precise with it because we're going to add multiple colors and we're going to do some splatter. We're going to put some gold on this. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So don't freak yourself out. Just do it quickly. I think watercolor just looks so good no matter what. I think it's really hard to mess up, believe it or not. It seems intimidating, but it's not. Just smoothing my yellow. I think fall is winning. I don't see very many summers on there. Too hot in the summer, I guess. I do love some summer. But there is something super refreshing about fall. And I love the coziness of winter, so I kind of like them all, I guess. Spring in Tennessee is often a little weird, so I would say that's my least favorite. Lots of storms and such. So we're going to add our yellow marker here. And this is a watercolor marker, but you could do any type of water-based ink and just put it into your, it's kind of like super quick watercoloring. And then I'll just spread those out. I told you it wasn't going to take us too long. But what's going to make it extra special is all the little extra details that we're doing to it. Okay, you're definitely seeing a lot of fall. Yep. Somebody says they love stitching on their die cuts. I do too. I actually like that stitching on your die cuts. It's an easy way, like if you were traveling, you can take those along with you and do the stitching part. I like that. I actually set last night to do that extra tag. I set and I was watching TV and it was really fun. Okay, so here's our yellow. Now we're gonna add orange because I just love it when they have this orange tint. Now everything's already wet, so you don't really have to do any more with that. You can just now start going and adding some orange at the bottom of your petals. And then we'll use our wet brush and get it to blend in. Just start out with a couple on each little petal. Just think this makes a nice color combo. Just makes it more of a fall look to me. Okay, it looks kind of rough now, but I'm going to come in with a wet brush and I'm going to spread it out and mix the color. So just coming along. See how it takes those marks away, but it just spreads that color out? Oh, love it. I love that look. It's like I perfectly ink blended it and all I did was add just a little water. So this is watercolor cardstock, and it is Canson XL is which watercolor. I'll show you the packaging if y'all are wanting to know what I'm using. Sorry, I didn't put that on the supply list. I forget things like that sometimes. I think I need just a little bit more orange on that one. Do you see how beautiful that looks? And it just like meshes it into the rest of the color like you've magically painted it. And all I did was just add some stripes of things, just some stripes of water. If there's any place that it looks like it's got a harsh line, just add a little bit of water. Okay. Alrighty. There you go. Look at that. So fun. So I think that just looks good. I'll hold it up to there. If you want to add more, you can, but I love how that looked. So we've got, here's how that looks. And it's just markers spread out with some water. Ooh, that's a good one. Rachel's got a good question there. She says, when you're just creating, whether it's for a live stream or a blog post, do you listen to music, watch TV, or do you create in silence? Well, that has evolved a little bit for me lately. And I will say that if I'm filming with two cameras, sometimes I will be like completely silent. So I'm curious to see what y'all say. I will be completely silent if I'm filming the reels. If not, I like to listen to a book, or I like to watch something kind of mindless. So it can be one or the other, but lately it's been a lot more creating in silence. And I think I am probably faster and come up with better ideas that way. But, so I'm just adding some green, and then I'm going to blend it in. And this is a bright green, but don't worry, we got plans. We got plans here. The other thing you can do with these markers is get a little bit on the, like this, and just add some more green if you need to. So I'm going to do 2 color greens on this, so don't worry, it's not going to stay super bright. Like to hear what people are doing, how they're creating. Some are creating in silence, some are watching YouTube. Watch live streams. Yep, that's a good plan. Watch some live streams while you create. Yeah, girly movies, that's a nice idea too. Often I'm watching something I've already seen so that I don't have to do a whole lot of paying attention, because it will start distracting me, especially if I'm trying to create, you know, I'm trying to create something specific for what's going to be a live stream, and I need to be thinking about the steps. Sometimes I get distracted, so it tends to be that something familiar is a little bit better for me. Alrighty. And I'm going to add some other color green in there too. So it's got this teeny little stem right here that I'm just going to take this and go use it like a marker. Here we go. So I'm going to mix a couple of greens, which is what I did last time. So I've got a darker green, and I'm just going to kind of add some little streaks to it, just to give it a little bit of different color. And then we'll go in and we'll mix that. I like that you can be really free with the watercolor. I'm just kind of making lines and just kind of following the flow of this little thing here. Just giving it a little bit more veining. And then I can come back and smooth that out a little bit. But I also like the detail it gives, because, you know, leaves have veins. Oh, Kim says she watches Dirty Dancing for like the 800th time. That sounds about right for me. Gilmore Girls. Do you know how many times I've watched Gilmore Girls crafting? I bet I've watched that series. That's a great crafting series. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's girly and it's easy to kind of let it be in the background. But I bet I've watched Gilmore Girls. I bet I've watched the whole thing at least 8 times. At least crafting. Let's see what else everybody picks. Dirty Dancing, of course, yes. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, look at how that looks. So nice. Now I did do the background, and I did it with a blue. So we're gonna get our brush wiped off so that it's not green. And I'm just gonna add water in this background. So I'm gonna see where these little spots are white. These I'm not even gonna worry about. I'm just gonna use the brush. Like you can see through the flower in these spots. Whether that's what they are, I don't know, but that's how I made them. Could be like little extra extensions of the flower, but I kind of thought it was like where you see through the flower. So I'm going to add my blue marker in those dots. And then we'll do a quick, easy background, and then we're going to use Distress Spritz. And we're going to kind of paint with the Distress Spritz. Okay, and if you're worried about how dark these are, you can also add a little bit of water and spread them out. No big deal. Water's kind of like an eraser. I don't know how or why, but it is. Okay, now we're going to do in between these, since not much left. Yeah, that's good. Oh no, Rachel, you've never seen Gilmore Girls. Rachel's never seen Gilmore Girls? Is there anybody else out there who has not seen Gilmore Girls? I'm going to need to know about this. I'll tell y'all some good stories about Gilmore Girls. Okay, Rachel. Now this brush to me seems a little bit too big for this spot. I'm going to try to go, well, that's the smallest one I got on that desk. So I'm going in between these and just adding some water out in the blank space so that things blend easier. And then I'm going to come in with my blue and we'll blend it out. So just kind of starting at those little V's right there, and then we'll blend them out. Oh yeah, definitely. So let me tell you all about Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is a great girly movie. I mean, it's just a good movie, or show. Plus, I love Lorelai. But what's so funny to me about that is that when I was at home after having my first baby, it was the only thing I had on DVD. And so I would watch it. It was wintertime, and so I would watch that so many times. I bet I've seen it more than 8 times. Let's go with that. I might be at the quoting it level. So I'm just bringing my blue and just kind of fading it out, making it darker around the flower, and then fading it out to the edges. So pretty easy. It doesn't have to be super dark, just to show that there's a background there. See how that looks? So nice. All right, so if you want more blue, you can just bring it into these little V's. So we're going to use the Distress Spritz that is fossilized amber. Love that one. It's like a nice gold. It looks perfect with this. And we're going to splatter, and then we're going to create the frame with it. I agree. You can just watch it on repeat because it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't get old. I don't know what the deal is about that. Okay, so tell me, what do y'all think about this watercolor? Would y'all try it this way, or are you new, or let's go, would you try watercolor with or have you ever tried watercolor with markers before? And you could make this blue, you could color the whole thing in with blue. I just kind of like making it fade from the, I just think it looks cool because it kind of fades in and out right here. It's kind of like a little sunshine. I don't know how to say that, but I like how it looks. Alrighty. We're almost done with this little part, and we still got to make our pop-up for this one. This pop-up's going to be smaller, so I'm going to show you how to make your pieces smaller. Oh no, Julie's never watched Friends either. Or Seinfeld. Seinfeld, I thought Seinfeld was okay to be watching in here with the teenagers around. I'm not so sure. It's hilarious, but it's a little bit more mature than what I want to be having on in my craft room, which is kind of in the middle of the house. Hilarious, but a little more mature content. Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know if I put these on my supply list or not. I think I might have left them off because I wasn't sure if we were going to do stenciling or if we were going to do this. So if you are shopping for these brushes, I'll get it on the supply list after the live stream is over. Look at how good that looks, though. I mean, it really is pretty simple. Now, what's going to make this over the top is going to be the gold. We're going to use that fossilized amber Distress Spritz, and we're going to go crazy. And then, of course, we're going to make it a pop-up. So people think they're getting this, like, just, you know, artwork card, and then they're even more surprised when they see the inside and there's something fun in there, too. I kind of like to just surprise people with cards, like, hey, look at what all this thing can do. Yeah, and I'm like two-handing it. I've got a marker in one and a brush in another, so it's not like it's like super complicated. It's just You just got to color it all in. All right, we got this little spot down here. I'm trying to see what Arlene said because she's cracking up, Julie. Yeah. Yeah, Seinfeld is definitely not a watch with your kids. Which is crazy because, you know, back in the 80s or 90s or whenever that was, I was young enough that I watched that with my mom and I didn't even notice that it was that way. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to watch this with the teenagers. Okay, there it is. And you can keep messing with it, or you can decide you're good and move on, which is what we're going to do. Add a little bit of blue there. Look at that. And that's just like markers. We did 2 of the Zig clean color ones, 2 of these, and then I did a few of these. We did brown, an orange, canary, and the green, and then just a watercolor brush from Altenew. So just water on my brush. A little small brush is easier. Okay, so that's what we use to color it. But now, here we go. Let's get our distress spritz. See where I put it first. Yeah, there it is. And I know from one of the other live streams, somebody was saying, is there a stamp or something like that that you can that you can use to tell people like open the card or remove something? And I found one in my stash that I thought I would show y'all. Like some places have like these little things that say remove or push or pull or scratch off. Pear Blossom Press had this one, and I found a couple others like that. So if you're ever like, I want them to take the tag off, you could hand write that, or you could just put a little stamp there. Okay, so now we got to add the gold. You definitely want to shake this up really well because it's got lots of gold to it. And we're going to put it on a piece of this, and we're going to use just a little bit, and we're going to splatter it. So I'm going to spray it here. Okay, yeah, I know how that goes. Okay, so this is fossilized amber distress spritz. This stuff, I can't even believe it. Like the price point on this is like maybe $3.80, maybe $4, and it is so fun. Okay, so I'm gonna do some bigger splatters of gold, and then we're gonna do some smaller. So I've got my bigger brush, and I'm gonna come over it, and we're gonna do some splatters. Okay, and I'm gonna do the whole thing, like just all over the thing. But you can always do that. I might need to cover up my happy birthday so I don't get too many there. And then I'm going to do a little smaller brush to create some small splatters. So we're going to go. And I'm just covering up a little bit of the happy birthday at the bottom. And I think these little gold splatters look really good on the little seed part too, because it just gives it like a little bit more. So you can do as much as you want, whatever you think. And then I'm going to take this little small brush that has the gold, and we're going to create a gold outline. So I'm basically going to paint with this. This has one little piece too much. And just take it along this edge. So just creating my gold outline. And it works really well like that. Sorry if y'all are looking at the top of my head. Yeah, it does last a long time. Like I've been using this fossilized amber for months and months, and I've used that much. Can you see? I've gone down to there. I bet I've used it for probably at least 3 months, and I use it a lot, especially that color. So you could also take a gold pen and create your little frame. You could leave your frame not done. I think that's fun too. But this makes a nice shimmery frame. And I'm basically just tapping it in there. See how we're creating our gold frame here? I know that's little bitty details, but I just like how it looks. And you don't necessarily have to paint a straight line. You're just going in between your embossing. So you're kind of tapping it into the little well that's right there, and it just flows down it. So kind of nice with the embossing. Yeah, I made a mess too, but I really made a mess the first time I used the lumberjack plaid because it was red and I spilled some of it, so I had to clean it up. It was on my die cutting machine. It was everywhere. So we're gonna make our pop-up with this one. It's gonna be a die cut that is from that reflection set. So we're not gonna use the usual like heart or butterfly. We're gonna use an actual frame die, and I'll show you how that works. So would distressed spray stain do the same? Is there a distressed spray stain that is metallic? That's what I need to know, because this is definitely a metallic. But you can definitely paint with distressed spray stain. Arlene says her keyboard and mouse get splatter on it. I know, I do too. Okay, and I'm just turning this around because that way I can reach easily. So tell me right now, is everybody, I know we just did a Christmas in July, so tell me how many Christmas cards you made so far? Or have you started yet? Excellent on that. Yeah, I won't shimmer. That's true on the distressed spray stain, but I thought it was just a mica. It wasn't a mica, I mean. But you can paint with it, right? It's just like any other ink. You can probably paint with it, and it's water friendly, so. Yeah, 0 cards so far. That's fine. I've only got my gingerbread card that I made and maybe one other that I've done. So I started in the live stream this weekend. Okay. All right, look at this. See if you can see. You see that? Look at that gold on the side. That's the distress spray. And look at how it does on the actual, oh man, that is awesome. Can you see how it shines? Oh, that looks so good. And it's still got to dry a little bit. So let's clean up this and we'll make our inside part of this. Hang on, let me get all this out of the way. Yeah, it does look better the next day, doesn't it? The splatters. Julie's talking to Melanie. Okay. Let me clean this off, and then we're going to cut out our piece that's going to be, and we're going to do a little bit of ink blending on our piece that's going in the middle this time, just to make it really like pop, okay? So let me get some splatters cleaned up here. Okay, I'm sure I still probably have some gold everywhere, but no big deal. Alrighty, I'm going to set this aside to let it dry, and we're going to make our pop-up piece for it. So let's look at our die cuts. I'm going to use this one. It's the Reflections Matthew 6, and I'm going to use the middle. We're going to use it with some pattern paper. Because remember I told you pattern paper does a little bit better job. And this is not quite the right color, so I'm going to make it the right color with some ink. We're going to use Summer Sunrise, which is my fave. And we're going to create it. Yes. So let's do a little cutting here. I was laughing because she said every year I tell myself I'm going to start my Christmas cards in July, and then December rolls around and I still am behind. That sounds about like my life. I agree. So here, while I'm getting this cut out and doing it, I'm going to show y'all what I made in the Christmas July. So this is from Papertrey. It just came back in stock. It's the Gingerbread Man, and we made a tag slash like ornament card. in that Christmas in July live stream. So if you haven't seen that, we had lots of fun. We used some paste on this, and we used felt on the hat, did some stitching. Let me try to hold it up for you. I think it's just so cute. We even did the inside of this card. So if you haven't seen that live stream, check it out. Okay. So my sticky mat is not on a glass board. So behind mine right now, I do have a glass board on here, but this right here is not a glass board. So this is like a cutting mat, and underneath it I have a glass board. Glass board is really hard for me to film on, so I don't tend to use it on camera a whole lot, which for me means I don't use it a whole lot. It's a great thing to have, and I love how it works. I just cannot get it to work well on camera. It's just too... This one right here is an Altenew Craft Your Life mat. It's not sticky, but the sticky mat that I'm using is also from Altenew. This is called the Ultra Grip mat, and I bet that Rachel, I use this all the time, so Rachel probably has the link for that, even if it's not on my supply list. Okay, look at how cute this is. It's got that little stitching, but it's just not quite the right color for our card. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it the right color. So let me show you the card so you can see what I mean. I needed it to match this better. So we're gonna use the Summer Sunrise, and we're gonna add a little bit of ink blending to it. And then we'll stamp it. So let me use my mat that's not wet. So I have multiple of these sticky mats. These are all the same. This one just happens to be dyed from colors. Thank you. Created by Laura Lee said, that gingerbread card is an all-time favorite. I may need that die. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like to hear it. Glad you enjoyed it. I really like it too. I did not realize how much I would like those gingerbread, so we're gonna add some color to the edge of this. The other thing that this does, besides have it match our card a little bit better, is it makes the center look more like a spotlight. So not only is it popping open, but it also looks really like a spotlight. So you're adding this little bit of ink blending to the outside edge, and it makes that nice, those nice little dots show up better. So I'm just adding some kind of orangey yellow to it to make more sense with our card. It's a light pastel color pattern paper, but you can always adjust your pattern paper with some ink. So I'm just kind of coming along here, and look, we've changed the color. How nice is that? Now let's look at it compared to the card. You'll see how much of a difference it makes. I mean, that looks like it's coordinated. I love it. Okay, now we're gonna stamp on it, and then we're gonna create our mechanism to make this pop up. So this is a double-sided cardstock from Papertrey, sorry, or Papertrey. So let's stamp, and remember I was gonna do, this one I'm gonna do different. I did You're the Best in the last one. Let's do, how about You Are, I wonder if that fits. What about You Are Greatly Appreciated? Happy birthday, no, because it's happy birthday. There's No One Like You. I'm Always Here for You. My Heart Is With You. You Mean the World. I'm gonna go You Are the Best because that's really good for the happy birthday. You could just do Happy Birthday to You again too. I'm gonna use my big U. I just like this one. And for this one, I'm just gonna do black ink. I'm not going to, but I'm gonna make sure it's dry before we fold it. We're gonna try just stamping it without doing the heat embossing. You could also heat emboss. You need to get this exactly center. Okay. We'll go, "You are the best." So hard to get these little stamps to let go of your hands. Anybody got a trick for that? It wants to stick to my fingernail. So now that I've got it, let's see if I can scoot it over a little. Okay. Okay. I'm going to stamp this with black ink, and then we're going to let it dry before we fold it. So I'm using the Anna Griffin Impress die cutting machine. It is a good electronic one. I love that one. So I know it makes a lot of noise probably in the background. So let's stamp it a couple times. You are the best. Okay. Yeah, it's a great machine. Sorry if I'm getting my head in the way. All right, so let's let this dry for a second while we make the mechanism that's going to go on this. Leave it right here. So let's see what kind of scraps. I'm going to use the same color and use this as my scraps. Let's get our little cutter. Now this thing is smaller than the heart, so you need to go smaller on your pieces. We're gonna do a 1/2 inch this time instead of a 1/3 of an inch, and I'm just gonna check it really quick. Let's see. See how that's a little bit smaller? It's about a 1/2 inch, and then we're gonna square it at half as well. So we'll do the what's that thing called? Bone folder. Which I don't know where I put my other one, but we're gonna do at all half marks. Okay, so half. This one's easier than the other. 1. Sorry, can you see that? Half, 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5. And remember, I only need 5, so I can go ahead and cut this piece. And then let's do another one. We'll do the same measurements at halves. So a 1/2, a 1, 1.5, a 2, a 2, and a 2.5. Did I get that right? Yeah, okay. And then we can trim this one. And we'll make our little mechanism. So for this one, because it's a smaller thing, I want to make a smaller mechanism. So I'm going to sit here and go around, really bend these. Yeah. That's nice. I like that idea of night skies. Yeah, if you get an Anna Griffin Impress Elite, I like it a lot. I use that one probably most, and sometimes I just use smaller plates. So I probably use my Elite more than I use my smaller machine because I can just swap up the plates. So you can use the skinny plates in the Elite and just run through something small, or you can use the big ones. I prefer those little skinny plates. So now I've bent all of these, and I'm going to fasten the ends with glue. So I'm going to make a box here. So I'm making a box, holding it tight. Tell me in the comments, what's your favorite card size to make? Do you make A2, A7? Do you make slimline? I'd like to know what your favorite size of cards are. So here's our little square. Let's do this one. It really helps to make sure you press down these folds. So each one, just really make it intense on how much you're pressing it down. Boom. Yeah, they might have something on Black Friday. A2, lots of A2 cards. Yes, they may have a Black Friday sale on die cutting machines. Please, when y'all are shopping Black Friday, use somebody's affiliate link. Please don't go crazy shopping and forget. Makes such a difference to us little crafters. So I made a box. Okay, I'll let that one sit there. Oops. Make sure I got it nice and even. Okay, so we got our 2 boxes here. This one needs a little bit more pressure. Okay, it looks like majority A2. I see an A7 or a couple of those. I'm done. That's funny. I'm done learning more math in life. Somebody tell me what an A6 is. A7 is a 5x7, right? An A6, is that somewhere in between? Okay, we're going to glue these 2 boxes together. So just pick a spot, glue them together. Make them nice and even. Just want to make sure that they're even so that they sit right. So just make sure you got it even and really hold it together. Okay, there you go. So we got our double box now. Now we need to fold this exactly in half. Let me check the ink. Can't tell if that's, let me check it with this and just see if it's definitely dry. Okay. Yep, seems like it's dry, so let's fold that in half. Whoops. Throwing things. Okay, this piece is also exactly 3 inches, but it's a little bit shorter in the width. So you know exactly where the middle is. 1.5. Okay. Then I'm going to fold it, press it down. Okay. Fold it, press it down. The 2 wonky dies that Karen's talking about, are you talking about these that I'm using right now, Karen? Okay, now I'm going to flatten this piece out. So I took it from the 2 boxes and I'm going to flatten it like this. It almost looks like a heart. We're going to put glue on this inside and we're going to slip our piece of paper in. You might have to make your own envelopes for some of those. That Works tool that I use to cut sometimes and score on camera has like an envelope maker. So you can make any size envelope that you want. I'll show it to you in just a second. Tell me what, if you were to buy only one sentiment that you would use most in your craft room, what would it be? Would it be happy birthday? Would it be, like, tell me what it is. Okay, so now we've got this part folded. See how it is? Nice. Now let's grab our card base. I'm going to use this one. Make sure this fits before Yep, I'm going to trim that card base ever so slightly. I don't like having to trim them afterwards, so I like to trim a little off if I just think it's ever so slightly off. I like to trim a little bit here, which is a little hard to do with this one. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Like I said, this trimmer is not on my top, but it does make envelopes. Let's go with that. So I'll show you how that works in just a second. This thing's called the Works tool, so it does all kinds of stuff. I'm going to cut just a little bit off this edge too. That way I can make sure that fits. So here's what it does. It's got like a puncher that punches out the envelope things. And it's got this thing on the back that shows you all the different sizes of envelopes. And you can use this with it to score and make your own. So this is called the Works tool. I don't know if Rachel's put that in there or not. Okay, I'm going to see what sentiments. I see a lot of happy birthday. A lot of hello, thinking of you. Happy birthday's a good one. I feel like there aren't that many happy birthday ones too. I feel like it's easier to find all the others. Okay, so here's our little thing that pops up. We've got this flat. We just need to glue these two outer corners. So just this little spot here and this little spot here. And then we're gonna wedge it in this card. So we're gonna wedge it right up against the seam and close our card. And we're gonna hold it. Oh, so yeah, it's the Matthew 6 dies, Karen, sorry. Those, so they do a subscription of those now. I'm not sure if you can buy them individually or not. We're gonna let this sit for just a second. While we do that, let's put our ribbon around our watercolor card and get this one ready. I'm gonna put an acrylic block on here just to hold it down. And let's add some ribbon around our cardstock here. Also gonna get, so anytime you use watercolor paper, which I told y'all I would show you what it looks like, hang on. Let me show you what kind it is. This is the type of watercolor paper I'm using. I don't have any particular attachment. This one has just always worked really well for me. So I'm using this kind of watercolor paper for here. It's a pretty good color too, like it's nice white. Whenever you do watercolor, sometimes your cardstock will warp a little bit. So I'm gonna use a double-sided adhesive foam sheet to keep it straight. So this is like almost like a board, and it helps to keep your card straight. Okay. Okay, thank you, Rachel. So Rachel says they're out of the Matthew 6 die right now. I can see why. It's a really fun one. So you want to start sticking it down and try to hold it as straight as you can before you stick the whole thing down. Okay, so now I've got it straight, like a board. Okay, perfect. The other nice thing about this is that when you put, when you put like a ribbon around it, you've got that sticky to attach it to. So I used this stuff that I found, and I just tied it in a knot. So I'm gonna do that really quick, and then we'll put our whole card together. So from this release, I'm loving all this stuff. It's fun. So what you can do is you can take this has adhesive on it, so I can fold this up and I can use it on the back. Let's see where it needs to go. Guessing right about there. Helps if I don't get it all stuck, right? And then we're gonna push this flap down so that it doesn't stick to the mat. And then we can tie our little knot or bow. I don't think I left enough to do a hole. And I kind of like it off center over here. So you can do it as a bow if you want. I'm gonna do mine as a knot because it's just an interesting, fun ribbon. I thought it kind of looked fine, not as a bow. So I'll do that, I'll trim it a little bit. Okay, and now it's stuck to the back, okay? And then we can add it to this other thing. Tell me, I'm always looking for these things when I love when I'm talking to y'all on live streams and you tell me new things that I haven't heard of. Tell me what like your must-have product in the craft room is. And then I'm going to answer Monica's question while y'all are telling me. Tell me something that maybe I haven't heard of or that you just use all the time and I need to check out. Tell me what it is. I would say my most used thing would be my die cutting machine. So my Anna Griffith machine is very used. I use my scoreboard. I use that sticky mat, probably all on every card. Just lots of fun stuff. So, okay, so here's how our pop-up is looking. Nice. Look at that. Okay, so let's put our front on it and then we can show it all together. So now I've got this. Oh, Monica, I needed to answer this. Where do you get this foam, this double-sided adhesive foam? This is from scrapbook.com and it comes like this. I think it's probably on my, no, that's not it. It's probably on my, Rachel's probably got it as a supply somewhere because I use it a lot. It is a double-sided and it's A2 size, so you can get it in bigger sizes and cut it down, but it's just nice not to have to put strips and strips of adhesive. I do put glue on it just to make sure I line it up right. Ooh, nice. So she said her Epson printer. I would like to know how to do those printables too. Okay. There we go. I still think I need to trim off just a smidge. We'll see. Okay, here's what it looks like, and then we'll look at both of them. Uh-oh, I just dropped my pen for my glue. Whoops. Okay. I love this ribbon. It's so fun. Okay, so we've got our sparkly front that we did with Distress Spritz. We used all of our markers, and then not only do you have this beautiful artwork, but you have "You're the best." So it says, "Happy birthday, you're the best." Nice. So they have that foam in different thicknesses, Annie. It comes in at 1 millimeter and a 2 millimeter. This is 2 millimeter. So it's 2 millimeter, I believe. I think it might even come in a 3. Look at that. So I see lots of die cutting machines, trimmers, liquid glue. Yeah, I do love my liquid glue, which I just dropped my pen for, so that's okay. So this is our second pop-up card. Tell me, do you have any questions on how we made these pop-ups? It was so fun. This is our other one. Look at that. And this one even has the gift card in it too. So we use lots of fun Papertrey products. I'll keep opening these and showing them to you, but let me tell you the replay question so that I can, okay, here's the replay question. So if you want to go to the replay and enter for another $50 gift card, make sure you do that. You need to answer this question. What is your favorite color combination right now? And I want to know this because I'm always looking for new color combinations. So make sure you tell me what is your favorite color combination right now. And I will, that'll be part of the replay giveaway. So definitely let me know that. If you're shopping today, use my link from Papertrey Ink, please. And I hope that you enjoyed these. Tell me what you thought too in comments. Like, do you love pop-up cards? Have you ever tried one? I'd love to know all of that fun stuff as well. If you have not seen the recent live stream for the Christmas in July for Papertrey, don't miss this card. It's getting lots of love. People are really liking it. You can take this thing off and make it a tag or an ornament. We used some clear paste on it and just had a blast. So make sure you check that out on the last Saturday's live stream. It's called the Christmas in July event. You can find that on my stream. And then I'll put all these here so you can see. I'll open this up. So the weight of the watercolor paper, let me check that really quick. This is heavy. It's 140 pounds. So this watercolor paper is 140 pounds. So it's heavy. It's you know, like it did warp a little bit, but not much. Yay, I'm so glad you're gonna try these. Anybody else gonna try it? Okay, that's awesome. So I do suggest with the pop-ups that you're doing on the inside, do thinner paper. To make the boxes out of thin paper, make the actual pop-up out of thinner paper. That's why I use pattern paper, because it's a thinner weight than my normal cardstock. I don't know what weight the Papertrey pattern paper is. Julie might know that, but I would say it's a little less, like more like at 60 to 80 pounds. So, and remember this one has a gift card in it, so I love these tag holders. You can put a little gift card in there, so cute. And then we did our fun pop-up, you are the best. What a great sentiment. And then a happy birthday, you are the best. Yeah, it is heavy paper. I think watercolor paper being heavy helps it not warp so much. It's very nice and just will make the whole card. It's nice. All right, thank you so much, and hopefully, yeah, if you're ordering, use my link, and I will see y'all on replay. And don't worry, if you were the replay winner for last time, I announced that at the beginning. Make sure that you check that. Okay, and Rachel said to note that this is cold pressed watercolor paper, which has a different texture than hot press. So I always use cold press. Thank you. I'm glad y'all liked it. It was so great to see you. I will be on my channel again on Friday with a pre-recorded video. That's going to be a very fun one with embossing folders. Make sure you check it out on Friday at 11 a.m. And I will see you there. And then I'll see you next week again with some more live streams. Have a great day. Thank you, Papertrey, for your giveaways. And thank you, Rachel, for helping us out. I appreciate it. And Susan, before I go out, Susan's asking, is the size of the box on square always the same as the width? For me, yes. That just made it easier for me. I made it the same, and it makes it a nice, clean box. Very nice. I just thought it was better that way. Thanks. Thank you, Leslie. Thanks, Amber. I'll see y'all soon, I hope, on the channel. All right. I'm going to flip on and just say bye. All right, y'all have a good evening. I'll see you soon. Bye.